If you're coming from Premiere Pro, you're probably used to dealing with just one format, the Premiere Pro project. Premiere project hold all timelines, effects, bins, etc. But because DaVinci Resolve started out as a dedicated color grading app, it was built specifically to communicate with other DAWs and NLEs. That is why you get a variety of file formats along the process. Since a lot of editors still use Premiere, we'll start covering by the inter-app extensions how DaVinci Resolve talks to Premiere, ProTools, and Avid. Then for the hardcore DaVinci Resolve users, we'll break down the formats you definitely have to remember. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to archive, share, and export your work in and out of DaVinci. Hi, my name is Ali. I'm a DaVinci Resolve trainer. On this channel, I share tutorials on DaVinci Resolve, color grading, footage restoration, using the best tools and techniques. Inter-app formats, DaVinci Resolve versus Premiere and Avid. When moving timelines between apps, we rely on few universal formats. The quick answer to move your timeline from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve for grading is to use XMLs. Here in the chart, we have two formats, EDL and XML. EDL provided a list of all the cuts that makes up a timeline. It was great for its time and it served really well, but it has a lot of limitation in our new digital workflows. Hence the XML. XML was way more flexible and it unlocked way more capabilities. Now you can transfer multiple track sequences and you can retain opacity, scale, and position. But XML was not perfect. It has some compatibility issues. To avoid some of the translation errors, I compiled some of the options that you have to bear in mind when you're creating your XML towards DaVinci Resolve. My personal recommendation is to delete all audio tracks, try to move all clips in a single track, and if you have split screen or other effects, you can create a second and a third as long as it's limited. You need to flatten all the multicam clips because they will not translate and they'll produce blank space. Delete all transitions. Some of the fade works, but it's not 100% guaranteed. Use the standard speed changes only by using the percentage. Speed remapping usually produce errors because of the keyframes that don't translate the values exactly. This is a big one. Use transform for resizing and avoid using fit the frame function within Premiere. A mandatory reference video needs to be provided so you can do the conforming and you can check your actual timeline to the final cut provided by the video editor. For audio, things are much simpler. You can use OMF or AAF. OMF, Open Media Framework, is limited to 2 GB per file. It retains the basic cuts, but it doesn't carry much else. You can always resort to AAF because it doesn't have a file limit and it retains metadata and automation. Some of the audio applications do not have the AAF formats. That's why the OMF is still widely used. Here we are on Premiere and we're gonna try to export an XML for DaVinci Resolve. So we have a demo timeline that we want to export from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve for grading. We're gonna try to use the XML option. But before we do, let's rename this sequence from sequence 1 to grade DR, file, export. See, the name transferred and it has the same name of the sequence. I'm gonna hit save for now. Let's switch back to DaVinci Resolve and then we're gonna right click timeline import, choose this option, and then this is the one, import. It's gonna give you this dialog box. It's gonna keep the same timeline name since we named it within Premiere Pro, not at the export level. We're gonna keep these boxes checked and then we're gonna hit OK. It's gonna ask us for the clips, so we're gonna tell it where to look. So I had a bug and I had to kind of jump ahead, but once I relinked the source footage, it worked, and this is the timeline you get. I'm preparing a couple of videos to detail how you get your project from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve. Trust me, this step is very, very crucial for the complicated projects. It is so crucial that now you have paid tools like this one, PR2 XML, and it gets your project from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve and vice versa. DaVinci Resolve native formats. As a second part of this video, let me go through some of the very useful formats that you definitely have to learn when you're working within DaVinci Resolve. The first format, we have the DRA, DaVinci Resolve Archive. This is your complete package and it saves all the project's files and bundles all the media with it. DRP, on the other hand, is DaVinci Resolve Projects. This contains everything about the projects like timeline, grades, and metadata, but has zero media. This is super small and it can be easily sent over email. Just remember, if the media on the other end is moved or renamed, the links will break. Let me give you a demo of these couple of formats. So for the DRA and the DRP, if you want to access those, you need to go to File, Media Management, and then you get this dialog box and type Projects, Timeline, and Clips. At the top, you get two options, whether you want to copy or transcode. Copy will make an actual copy of the actual media. Let's say if you shot an hour and you used only 10 minutes, it's going to copy the full hour. It doesn't matter if you used all the clip or some of the clip. Transcode, on the other hand, it's going to try to detect where the cut starts and ends, and it will take only the portions that you selected and transcode them in the formats you choose here. If you choose transcode, you're gonna get two more tabs for video and audio. Here you can choose the codec and the wrapper you want to use based on your final delivery. If you watched any of my videos, Apple ProRes would be recommended for archiving, and then you can always opt for DNX codecs. In the type, you have a variety of options, but I don't want to get into it. There are a lot of details, but ProRes 422HQ would be kind of like the mid-range. Audio usually doesn't take that much space, so linear PCM would be a lossless format that I recommend you would use if you want to transcode the actual footage. Let's go back to copy. So this is the same menu again. It transfers back and forth. They always use the option of used media. This will actually saves you also some of the space. Let's say you have, I don't know, 5 hours worth of rushes and you only used 3 hours of that. It's gonna only keep the used media that is present in the timelines used in that project. The last option worth mentioning is that instead of used media, you can choose the third level, used media and trim keeping. A third level would be used media and trim keeping. Now it's set at 25 frames handles. The idea is it's gonna not only delete all the other clips not used in the timelines, it's gonna only give you handles of 25 frames at each ends of those clips used. So as you can see, if I change the option from used media to use media and trim keeping, it's gonna take a second. Now the new size went from 173 gigabytes to 117 gigabytes. As you can see, guys, this can save a lot of space and it's gonna make a big difference in terms of storage. Obviously, once you hit start, it's gonna take a minute and it's gonna do its thing. There's another cool option. If you go to the timeline, instead of exporting the whole projects with all the timelines in it, you can just choose this option, and then from the list, you can choose the one timeline you want to keep. So in my case, I'm choosing this timeline. I'm gonna get the used media since we used all of the media that came with that timeline. And then we're gonna hit start and it's gonna give us, let's see what it does. Let's find it in the disk. So as you can see, I'm gonna double click. This is the name of the actual project that I have. Once I go in, it gave me the DRT, which is the DaVinci Resolve timeline, and it gave me all the clips used in it. I use this all the time and it's a really cool trick and it saves a lot of time. Okay, so now that I showed you the DRA format, if you want the DRP format, which is just the project, what you can do is that you can go to File, Export Project. For the DRP, which is the project, we're gonna export the actual project with all the timelines, the bins, the grading information, but with no media. Let's see what that looks like. Export project, and then we're gonna navigate to the same folder. I'm gonna give it a name, project delete, and then hit save, and then there you go. So you got a one file. It's, let's see the size. It is 3 megabytes, 3.4, and it has all the projects data. As long as you have the media on another disk, or you already sent the media separately, you'll be able to relink your project and carry on from there. So the other format that I think it's very useful, it's the DRX, which is the node tree. Let's say this is an actual node tree we made of the grade. We're gonna save this still, and then I'm gonna do right click and then export, and then let's do the same folder so we can delete all. And then now it's exported as the name of the still. You can rename it. Okay, amazing typing. Export. And then with that, you're gonna always get two files. Let me pull that up. You're gonna get a JPEG of the actual still, and you're gonna get a DRX. DRX would get you the node tree intact as it is, and you can literally import it back. It's gonna load the JPEG with it. See, I only imported the DRX. See, that's the name, but it actually worked. I'm gonna reset this grade, and then I'm gonna right click, apply grade, and now boom, we got our node tree back. As a last tip, a really cool option to manage all these formats and save your work safely is the Blackmagic Cloud. It's a paid service that saves your project database online, starting from $5. Depending on your plan, you can add other users to no additional cost, and you can access the projects and it syncs live across all users. It's incredibly useful, and it really gave me a peace of mind dealing with multiple projects. I hope this video answered some of your questions about DaVinci Resolve different file formats. I'm always trying to cover the topics that are not really well explained online. Please let me know in the comments if you have any question or if you have an idea for a video that I can do next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.